Welcome to Project Toons. In this video we'll take a look back at 10 times the Simpsons bit the hand that fed them and made fun of 20th Century Fox.
It may be on a lousy channel, but the Simpsons are on TV.
In Season 9 Episode 13, Homer joins a cult called the Movementarians after being brainwashed. Eventually Homer joins up the rest of the Simpson family until Marge escapes and comes back to free her family from the brainwashing Movementarians. At the end of the episode, the Simpson family sit around the TV and talk about how nice it is to not be brainwashed, and the show heavily implies that Fox brainwashes its audience.
It's wonderful to think for ourselves again.
You said it, sister.
You are watching Fox.
We are watching Fox.
Season 5 episode 19 of The Simpsons starts like most of them, with a couch gag, but the Simpsons use this one to attack the Fox logo. In Season 11 episode 15, Homer has to flee the country as a missionary when he doesn't have the money to back up a donation he made to a PBS telethon. Bart learns nothing from Homer's mistake because at the end of the episode, Bart makes a donation to a Fox telethon.
It's time to show your support.
Sure, Fox makes a fortune from advertising, but it's still not enough.
Not nearly enough. Please, call now. Hello, Murdoch here. $10,000? You've saved my network!
Wouldn't be the first time.
In Season 8 episode 10, Homer has a mysterious encounter with what he believes to be a being from another planet. When nobody believes Homer's crazy story, Bart convinces him not to give up and they plan to get evidence. When Bart asks Homer what they'll do if they fail, Homer responds with a jab at the Fox network.
We'll fake it and sell it to the Fox network.
They'll buy anything.
Now, son, they do a lot of quality programming too.
In Season 10 episode 23, Homer gets into computers and starts surfing the net like a pro. In his enthusiasm, Homer starts randomly investing money on the stock market. When Lisa tells Homer what he's actually invested in is Fox, the Simpsons once again poke fun at their owners.
I invested in something called News Corp.
Dad, that's Fox!
Undo! Oh!
Dad, do we have any money left?
In Season 4 episode 21, the Flanders family are going through hard times when their son Todd falls ill. When Maud Flanders asks her husband what they could have possibly done to make God forsake their family, at first Ned has no idea, until he remembers being amused by a Fox show.
Maybe they'd feel more at home in the bedroom. Ow.
Uh-oh. Oh, and the network slogan is true. Watch Fox and be damned for all eternity.
I've got to say I don't remember that slogan.
Watch Fox and be damned for all eternity.
In Season 6 episode 5, when pressure from the Springfield residents stirred up by a right-wing talk show forces Mayor Quimby to release Sideshow Bob from prison, Bob becomes the Republican candidate for the upcoming Springfield mayoral election. During a televised debate, the moderator Larry King asked the audience not to act like a typical Fox show, as the debate is being broadcast on the Fox network.
I'm your moderator, Larry King. Now a word to our audience. Even though we're being broadcast on Fox, there's no need for obnoxious hooting and hollering.
In Season 10 episode 15, Marge talks about all the things she's learned from Stone Phillips by watching shows on NBC. The end of the episode is basically a promotion for NBC.
NBC has lots of great shows, and their news and sports coverage can't be beat.
In the end credits, we get this amusing statement from Homer that he's totally saying under his own free will.
I'd like to read the following statement, but I do so under my own free will. It has come to my attention that NBC sucks. I apologize for misleading you and urge you to watch as many Fox shows as possible.
In Season 18, Episode 22, Kent Brockman is fired from his newsreader job at Channel 6 when Homer appears on his show Smartline. Homer accidentally spills coffee on Kent's lap, causing him to swear live on air, and Kent is quickly fired. Marge, feeling sorry for Kent, invites him to stay with the Simpsons, but Homer is reluctant to live with him. I wonder why.
I'm sorry, Marge, but I won't live under the same roof as a member of the liberal media.
You'll have to excuse him. He's been watching a lot of Fox News.
So what has Homer learned from Fox News?
Did you know that every day Mexican gays sneak into this country and unplug our brain-dead ladies?
Interesting. In Season 5 Episode 14, Lisa is angered by the new talking Malibu Stacy doll. Lisa feels that the doll is sexist and does nothing to inspire young girls. When voicing her opinion over dinner with the rest of the Simpson family,
They cannot keep making dolls like this. Something has to be done.
Marge then voices her own opinion.
Lisa, ordinarily I'd say you should stand up for what you believe in, but you've been doing that an awful lot lately.
Bart agrees, but Homer just cares that Lisa won't let him watch Fox, for a ridiculous reason.
And we can't watch Fox because they own those chemical weapon plants in Syria.
That was my look back at 10 times The Simpsons made fun of their owners, 20th Century Fox. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe for more content. Welcome to Project Toons. In this video we'll take a look back at 10 times The Simpsons made fun of Disney.
I'm the mascot of an evil corporation.
Get down from there.
In Season 4, Episode 4, Springfield Elementary is holding a carnival that Principal Skinner names the happiest place on Earth. Disney are well known for taking legal action against anyone using their products, characters and slogans, and The Simpsons highlight this fact with this clip.
Principal Skinner, the happiest place on Earth is a registered Disneyland copyright.
Well, gentlemen, it's just a small school carnival.
And it's heading for a great big lawsuit.
Unfortunately for the Disney legal team, they didn't realise that Principal Skinner is an army veteran and won't back down from a fight. Every now and then we see Skinner as more than a pathetic mama's boy. Makes me laugh.
Copyright expired.
In Season 6, Episode 21, the PTA has disbanded.
The PTA has disbanded!
No, the PTA has not disbanded.
In this episode, Edna Krabappel and the rest of the Springfield Elementary teachers go on strike. The teachers are fed up with Skinner's budget cuts that results in things like the school not being able to afford a school trip because the attraction has been bought by Disney.
$5 a child? Last year it was free.
No ownership.
In Season 5, Episode 20, Bart is placed in a moral dilemma when he witnesses a crime, and if he testifies and clears the accused man, he will have to admit that he skipped school.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to prove to you not only that Freddie Quimby is guilty, but that he is also innocent of not being guilty.
When Dr. Hibbert takes the stand during the trial, the Simpson writers reference Walt Disney's possible dark side.
Well, only 1 in 2 million people has what we call the evil gene. Hitler had it. Walt Disney had it.
I don't know if there is an evil gene, but I think Mr. Burns might have it.
Oh, that fellow at Radio Shack said I was mad. Well, who's mad now?
In Season 6, Episode 4, The Simpsons take another jab at Disney when Bart and Lisa convince Marge and Homer to take them to Itchy and Scratchy Land.
Mom, Dad, Bart's dead!
That's right, dead serious about going to Itchy and Scratchy Land.
Itchy and Scratchy Land is definitely a take on Disneyland. It has lots of similarities, such as packed parking lots.
Now remember, we're in the itchy lot.
And the founder of the park, Roger Myers Sr., is definitely a portrayal of Walt Disney Sr.
Roger Myers Sr., the gentle genius behind Itchy and Scratchy, loved and cared about almost all the peoples of the world.
Notice how they said almost all the people. The Simpsons are pointing out Walt Disney Sr.'s alleged links to the Nazi Party.
Except in 1938, when he was criticized for his controversial cartoon, Nazi Supermen Are Our Superiors.
Our next two Simpsons clips make fun of Disney's California Adventure Park. In Season 15, Episode 2, when Homer's mother Mona is arrested for a federal crime and is en route to prison, Homer steals the bus transporting the prisoners to set his mother free. When Mona asks him what he's doing, Homer's response is a burn on Disney's California Adventure.
I'm gonna hide you where there's no one around for miles. Disney's California Adventure.
And in Season 14, Episode 6, when a mysterious figure locks Homer in a sauna in an attempt to kill him, the Simpsons visit Police Chief Wiggum, and he suggests that they get help from someone who understands a murderer's mindset, the incarcerated Sideshow Bob. When the Simpsons visit Bob in prison, Chief Wiggum explains it holds Springfield's most dangerous criminals.
Each one crazier than the last. Come to think of it, he should be there, and this guy should be over there.
Wait, you saying he's crazier than I am?
That's exactly what I'm saying, Decapitating Harry. Now move it.
Yeah, whatever.
When Marge suggests that this probably wasn't a good place to bring kids, Bart and Lisa once again make fun of Disney's California Adventure.
I don't think this was a great place to bring the children.
It still beats Disney's California Adventure. Mm-hmm.
Next up in Season 19, Episode 12, we have an episode that is split into 3 parts. In the second segment, a parody of Lady and the Tramp called Shady and the Vamp, we see the Simpsons characters as dogs. And during the episode, we see a character that is very much supposed to be Goofy, who is unbelievably placed in a gas chamber.
This place is no picnic, but it sure beats working for Disney.
In Season 14, Episode 18, the Simpson family go Christmas caroling around Springfield. They belt out lots of Christmas hits until the blue-haired lawyer orders them to stop, citing copyright law. When he suggests the Simpsons sing copyright-free carols, Homer responds that he'll write his own, and we get this funny Disney-related scene which once again highlights their frequent use of lawyers.
I could write way better songs.
Go ahead, but don't use A flat or G natural. Those notes are owned by Disney.
Oh.
That's A flat.
Oh.
That's better.
In Season 3, Episode 24, we get a returning appearance from Danny DeVito as Homer's half-brother Herb. Herb, who is now poor and living in the gutter after Homer ruined his motor business and bankrupted his company, is sitting around talking to other people living on the streets. They talk about their past, and one of them had an altercation with Disney.
Yeah, I used to be rich. I owned Mickey Mouse massage parlors. And those Disney sleazeballs shut me down. I said, look, I'll change the logo, put Mickey's pants back on. Some guys you just can't reason with.
And finally, in Season 14, Episode 8, Lisa wants a new diary designed for girls after seeing an advertisement on television. When the Simpsons visit the Springfield Mall to buy her the diary, the mall is very eager to let people know that they are now Disney Store free. I hope you enjoyed 10 times the Simpsons made fun of Disney. Thanks for choosing Project Toons, and please like and subscribe for more content. Welcome to Project Toons, where today we're taking a look back at 13 times The Simpsons predicted the future. The Simpsons has been on air for decades, and in that time this iconic show has predicted the future multiple times. From future presidents to the COVID pandemic, from Nobel Prize winners to smartwatches, The Simpsons has predicted the future countless times, and in some cases with scary accuracy. This is a recap of 13 times The Simpsons predicted the future. First up, probably the most well-known of all the Simpsons predictions, in Season 11, Episode 17, we are flashed forward to the future, where Bart's an adult and Lisa's a slightly younger adult. Oh yeah, she's also President of the United States. In a staff meeting, Lisa says this.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
At the time it was just a joke, but 16 years later, Donald Trump was voted President of the United States. Next up in Season 5, Episode 10, Springfield legalizes gambling and Monty Burns opens his own casino. One of the acts at the casino is Siegfried and Roy, and while they're performing, their tiger attacks. Again, just a joke. I think a lot of people thought that will happen one day, but 10 years later while performing live on stage, the double-axe tiger did exactly this, causing serious injuries. In Season 6, Episode 19, we are once again taken to the future with the story of Lisa's university romance. In this episode, both Lisa's fiancé and Bart, who works on a building site, are talking into their watches, and nearly 20 years later, smartwatches are released. A bit like Star Trek influencing the Motorola flip phone. And from that same episode, Lisa has a video call with Marge that doesn't seem out of the ordinary, except it was 15 years before video calls were first introduced. In Season 10, Episode 5, Homer makes friends with celebrities.
Sorry, lady. I know you! You're Kim Basinger!
It's Basinger.
During the episode, we briefly see a poster that says 20th Century Fox, a division of Walt Disney. This was nearly 20 years before Disney bought out Fox for over $50 billion. In Season 20, Episode 4, when Homer is trying to vote, he attempts to place one for Barack Obama, but the machine selects a vote for John McCain.
One vote for McCain. Thank you.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
2 votes for McCain.
Just a funny scene, right? Well, 6 years later in the 2012 election, this exact scenario happened when voting machines were used that had been falsely calibrated. In Season 6, Episode 8, when Dolph types beat up Martin into his Newton, the screen changes to eat up Martha. Looks a lot like autocorrect, right? In Season 5, Episode 13, When Apu sells Homer expired meat and Homer falls ill with food poisoning, Homer goes undercover to get evidence of Apu's wrongdoing. He wears a hat with a camera in it. The hat is comically large because it has a full-size camera inside, but this is basically a GoPro, 10 years before they were invented. In the Simpsons movie, the government is searching for the Simpson family when they go on the run. The NSA eventually tracks them down by listening to everybody's phone calls. The Simpsons movie was released in 2007, and 6 years later, this joke became a reality when the NSA spying scandal proved the government was monitoring everyday conversations. In Season 22, Episode 1, released in 2010, Milhouse correctly predicts that, bear with me, Bengt Holmstrom would win the Nobel Prize in Economics. And 6 years later in 2016, that prediction came true. In Season 10, Episode 2, Homer presents an equation on a chalkboard that when calculated predicted a mass for the Higgs boson, a subatomic particle that was remarkably close to the actual value later discovered by scientists. In Season 23, Episode 10, at the bottom of a news show, a small banner reads, "Europe puts Greece on eBay." This was 3 years before Greece nearly left the EU after the Greek debt crisis. And our final prediction comes from Season 10, Episode 22. When Homer is talking to Stephen Hawking, possibly the biggest gap of intelligence between two people having a conversation, Homer talks about his idea of a donut-shaped universe.
Your theory of a donut-shaped universe is intriguing, Homer. I may have to steal it.
Years later, research into the universe showed that this theory had a lot of merit, and Homer might be right. I hope you enjoyed 13 times The Simpsons predicted the future. Thanks for choosing Project Toons, and please like and subscribe for more content. Welcome to Project Toons, where today we're taking a look back at 5 times Homer Simpson had crazy dreams. Over the years that The Simpsons has been on the air, Homer has had many iconic and crazy dreams. Here's a recap of 5 of the best. Enjoy. In Season 3, Episode 11, the Springfield nuclear power plant is bought by some wealthy German businessman, and in a conversation with his new bosses, Homer dreams about the land of chocolate.
We are from the land of chocolate. The land of chocolate.
I love this dream sequence for 2 reasons. Number 1, it has a catchy tune, and number 2, it leads to what is in my opinion the best moment of the whole episode, when they finally wake Homer up.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were talking about chocolate? That was 10 minutes ago.
Next on our list from Season 9, Episode 19, Homer dreams he's in a land of donuts, which sounds ideal for Homer until you realise that he's been brought there to pay for his crimes to the donut people.
You stand accused of eating half the population of the planet of the donuts.
But how will the donut people react to Homer's terrible crimes? Well, seeing as Homer ate half their population, the donut people decide to eat Homer. That's right, they eat him.
Homer, wake up!
In Season 11, Episode 13, the Simpsons get a horse. Again. And while trying to decide what to do with Duncan, Bart suggests that as he was a diving horse, maybe he could dive for pearls.
Pearls, eh?
Breakfast is served.
Next is my favourite of all of Homer Simpson's dreams. In Season 10, Episode 5, Homer dreams he's Yogi Bear. I especially love the use of Ned Flanders as Ranger Ned.
Well, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to hand over that picture.
Gee, homie, it's not very nice to maul Ranger Ned.
You want some of this?
Last on our list in Season 12, Episode 8, while Homer and Ned are driving through a snowstorm, they crash, and when they pass out from the car fumes, Homer has a crazy dream where he's some sort of sultan.
Enough! I grow weary of your sexually suggestive dancing.
That was 5 times Homer Simpson had crazy dreams. Thanks for watching Project Toons, and please like and subscribe for more content.
Dad, wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Oh, I was having the most wonderful dream.
Welcome to Project Toons. Bart Simpson has always been a rebel, especially at school. This is a recap of 7 times Bart Simpson's rule breaking earned him detention at Springfield Elementary. In Season 19, Episode 13, Bart and Lisa distract Marge, causing her to crash their car on the school run. Bart arrives late to school, and when Miss Krabappel tells him to take his seat, Bart finds there's a new kid sitting in his spot.
Who's the new meat in my seat?
Bart, this is Donnie. He's here at our school because he was kicked out of PS 132.
P.S. That school sucked.
A rivalry ensues between Bart and the new kid Donnie, putting Bart's reputation as Springfield's #1 bad boy under threat. So Bart plans an epic prank involving magnets to win back the kids at school.
It's not funny. These movements are involuntary.
This almost makes me want to find out how magnets work.
Bart's prank goes perfectly and the kids at school love him once more. And amazingly, Bart's new rival Donnie takes responsibility for the prank.
Principal Skinner? I did it.
But this was all part of Skinner's plan to get a man on the inside of Bart's organization.
We finally have a man on the inside. We're gonna put Bart Simpson away for a long, long time.
By law, the most we can give him is a 10-day suspension.
Well, that's long to a kid.
So when Bart plans a prank involving crickets, Skinner is one step ahead and Bart is given detention. Just for the record, this is one of the newer episodes that I still think is really good. In Season 5, Episode 20, when Bart is extremely bored at school, he forges a note to get him out.
Please excuse my handwriting. I busted whichever hand it is I write with. Signed, Mrs. Simpson. You were right to be suspicious, Edna.
While skipping school, Bart wanders into a Quimby family wedding and witnesses a waiter being brutally injured. The incident eventually ends up in court, with the accused facing serious charges. In order to prove his innocence, Bart testifies in court, but he has to admit that he was cutting school.
How could you have seen all this, Bart? Weren't you supposed to be in school?
I sort of skipped school.
I knew it! I knew you'd slip up sooner or later, Simpson.
What slip up? What are you talking about? He confessed it.
When Skinner confronts Bart after the trial, he admits that it took courage to testify when it meant that he would get into trouble. Bart suggests that maybe the two things cancel each other out. Unfortunately not.
I'm a small man in some ways, Bart. A small, petty man. 3 months detention. Wait a minute, Bart. Make that 4 months detention.
In Season 3, Episode 16, a yo-yo fad hits Springfield Elementary and the children are obsessed. Bart is particularly skilled, and when he breaks his teacher's fish tank...
I didn't do it.
Mrs. Krabappel's fish die, and Bart is given a month's detention.
Don't worry about your wee fish, lass. They're going to a better place.
Bart, that's 1 month's detention.
Also in Season 3, this time Episode 18, Springfield Elementary is having standardized tests to determine which job is most suited to each student. When Bart's test suggests that he should be a police officer, he goes on a ride-along with Eddie and Lou and is inspired to be a hall monitor for a sense of authority. Lisa's test recommends she should be a homemaker, which enrages her, so she rebels, and when she steals the school's books, Lisa is looking at a serious punishment, but Bart takes the fall for her.
Who's behind this monstrous crime?
I am.
Due to Bart's service to the school as a hall monitor, Skinner decides to be lenient.
400 days detention.
Yeah, 400 days. I can do that standing on my head.
All right, 500 days.
Woo-hoo, big man.
600 days.
Maybe I'll just shut my big mouth.
And this episode gave us this touching scene.
Bart, why'd you take the blame?
'Cause I didn't want you to wreck your life. You got the brains and the talent to go as far as you want. And when you do, I'll be right there to borrow money.
Oh, Bart.
In Season 6, Episode 14, during the school science week, Principal Skinner releases a weather balloon, which Bart is particularly pumped about.
Release the balloon.
Skinner is naturally extremely angry and is desperate to find the culprit and bring them to justice. When all evidence leads to Bart...
Blueprints of the dummy, notarized photos of you making the dummy, and an alternate wording for the banner Buttzilla.
Skinner decides that as Bart has hindered science, he must now aid science.
Starting tomorrow, you will assist me with my amateur astronomy, taking down coordinates, carrying equipment, and so forth. 4:30 in the morning.
There's a 4:30 in the morning now?
During detention, Bart spots something in the sky and calls it into the observatory. Amazingly, the item turns out to be a comet. Meanwhile, Skinner is trying to retrieve the embarrassing weather balloon, which he does, but he won't be happy to find out that Bart's discovered a comet, as he's been hoping to discover something in the sky his entire life.
What are you doing? Give me that phone.
Congratulations, Bart. You've just discovered a comet.
No!
And it gets worse for Seymour. In season 28, episode 17, when Bart sends out a fake note telling everybody to wear white for Polar Bear Remembrance Day, and a separate one for Principal Skinner to wear floral colours for King Kameha's birthday, things go badly for Skinner.
Willie, kill the bees!
Not till I hear their side of it.
And Bart is punished heavily.
Bart received the longest detention in history.
And finally, in season 26, episode 4, Bart is given detention after a week in which he filled the sandbox with concrete mix, and also started a rumour that the lunch ladies were going to serve lunch naked, which stirs up the boys at school and enrages Skinner.
There's no hope for you, Simpson. You'll be locked in detention until you graduate to the penal system.
Penal.
Stop laughing. I said penal, not penile.
Penile.
It's not like you made me say penis.
I hope you enjoyed 7 times Bart Simpson got detention. Thanks for choosing Project Toons, and please like and subscribe for more content. Content. Welcome to Project Toons. In this video we're going to recap 10 classic episodes of The Simpsons in 10 minutes. I better get a move on. When Bart makes a $900 collect call to Australia, he's charged with fraud.
I'm being indicted for fraud in Australia.
That's no reason to block the TV.
So the Simpsons have to visit Australia so Bart can make amends.
Australia. Look at this country. You are gay.
The Simpsons arrive in Australia and head off to a local bar.
This is a knife.
That's not a knife, that's a spoon.
All right, you win. I see you've played knifey spoony before.
Homer can't wait to try an Australian beer.
Give me one of those famous giant beers I heard so much about.
Something wrong, Yank?
No, it's pretty big, I guess.
Bart makes his apology, but the Australians aren't satisfied and they want to give him a booting.
What kind of a sick country would kick someone with a giant boot?
The whole thing spirals out of control and the Simpsons are forced to flee the country. When Bart and Milhouse are discussing Radioactive Man with Comic Book Guy, they tell him they know everything about their favourite superhero, but Comic Book Guy lets them in on something they didn't know.
Hollywood is planning a feature film about Radioactive Man. I have got to do something about that air conditioner suction.
The kids at Springfield Elementary are happy to find out that they'll be making the film in Springfield.
And they will be holding auditions to find a local youngster to play Fallout Boy. Oh, and the air conditioner will be fixed this afternoon.
Every boy in Springfield is desperate to get the part of Fallout Boy, and Bart's audition is particularly good.
Watch out, Radioactive Man!
Congratulations, Bart Simpson. You're our new Fallout Boy. That's what I'd be saying to you if you weren't an inch too short.
So Bart doesn't get the part, but his best friend Milhouse does. You'd think Milhouse would be excited about playing Fallout Boy, but he loathes every second.
Ever since I became a movie star, I've been miserable.
Milhouse ends up running away from the pressure of being a movie star, and when they blow their budget, the Radioactive Man movie is shut down. When Homer can't get tickets for the big game, he resorts to divine intervention.
If you really are God, you'll get me tickets to that game.
Idly ho, neighbor. Want to go to the game with me? I got 2 tickets.
So Homer can go to the game, but he'll have to go with Ned, which is too much to ask, so Homer comes up with a sneaky plan.
Are you planning to hit Ned Flanders with that pipe and take his tickets?
No. Huh? Oh. Flanders, I decided I'd like to go to the game with you.
Homer warms to Ned when he buys him a nacho hat at the game.
Thanks, Ned. Nacho man.
And when Ned gets home of the game ball, he decides that Flanders will be his new friend.
This is Ned Flanders, my friend!
What do you say?
I don't know, something about being gay.
In the rest of the episode, Flanders struggles to deal with Homer's overbearing friendship, but by the end of the episode, things are back to normal.
Hi, diddly-ho, neighbor.
Get lost, Flanders.
Oakley-dokley.
When Homer is given a breathalyzer test after visiting the Duff Brewery,
Play with me.
Flawless. We also would have accepted, tell me what you think of me.
I guess you're free to...
Give him the breathalyzer!
Huh? You're under arrest.
Homer's charged with drink driving, but Lionel Hutz tells him not to worry because he's got a foolproof plan to get Homer off.
Surprise witnesses, each more surprising than the last. I tell you, the judge won't know what hit him.
Pipe down in there, Hutz.
Homer's forced to attend Alcoholics Anonymous and his license is revoked.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Marge gets Homer to agree to go 30 days without alcohol.
Homer, with our help, you'll never touch a beer again.
Homer succeeds in going 30 days sober, and when he can finally drink again, Homer decides he'd rather spend time with his wife than drinking at Moe's.
You'll be back, and so will you, and you, and you.
When Moe finds out Homer can take a punch like a pro, he suggests Homer take up amateur boxing.
Are you man enough to test every one of your limits?
Yes.
And are you man enough to throw a punch should the opportunity arise?
Yes.
And are you man enough to give me a 60% cut?
Yes!
I'll take it. Woohoo!
Moe soon finds out that Homer can take a punch, but he can't throw one.
Okay.
So the plan is for Homer to take punches until his opponent becomes so tired that Homer can just nudge them over.
Who's gonna knock you down?
No one.
When are you gonna fight back?
Never.
What are you gonna do?
Nothing.
That's my boy.
This technique raises Homer and Moe far up the amateur ranks, and eventually Homer becomes known as the fighter who can't be knocked down. This reputation gets Homer a heavyweight title shot against Drederick Tatum, Springfield's answer to Mike Tyson. Homer goes on to lose the fight, but in my opinion, just getting there is an impressive achievement. When Homer has a fight with Marge, he drives off into the night and stumbles across a redneck bar.
Hey, you, let's fight.
Them's fighting words.
While Homer is drinking at the bar, a young singer named Lurleen takes to the stage.
I said no one understands you, but I do.
Homer is extremely moved by her song.
I gotta say something to you.
I'm listening.
Your song touched me in a way I've never felt before. And which way did it can?
For days, Homer can't get Lurleen's song out of his head, so he tracks her down.
I can't get your song out of my mind. I haven't felt this way since Funky Town.
Marge isn't happy that Homer is spending time with a young, attractive singer.
I think I can come over. Let me ask my wife. It's a date.
Despite Marge's concerns, Homer decides to become Lurleen's manager until she tries to kiss him and Homer realizes that Marge was right to be worried. Homer makes the right choice and obviously chooses Marge. I mean, he didn't really have a choice. It's Marge. When the Simpsons are spring cleaning, Bart wins a radio contest with a choice of prizes.
You win your choice of $10,000, or what's our gag prize this week, Bill? A full-grown African elephant!
As you might expect from a kid, Bart chooses the elephant.
Well, all that money sounds mighty tempting, Marty, but I think I'm gonna have to go with the elephant.
The radio station expected Bart to go for the money because they don't have an elephant.
Kid, the elephant's a gag prize. Nobody takes the gag prize. You want the cash.
I want the elephant.
Homer can't believe that Bart isn't taking the money.
Bart! With $10,000, we'd be millionaires!
Bart sticks to his guns and eventually the radio station cave.
Whoa!
Bart calls his new elephant Stampy, but the Simpsons soon realise that they can't afford to feed him, although Homer tries his best.
I think you're taking unfair advantage of my generous offer.
The financial burden takes its toll, so the Simpsons are forced to send Stampy to an animal refuge. When Lisa accidentally adds electricity to her science fair project, something incredible happens.
Tiny little people. My God, I've created life.
The beings are advanced and they shrink Lisa down.
It worked! The debigulator worked!
They believe Lisa is God.
And you speak English.
We have listened to you speak since the dawn of time, O Creator, and we have learned to imitate you exactly.
Even being God, Lisa wants to leave.
All you have to do is unshrink me.
Unshrink you? Well, that would require some sort of a rebigulator, which is a concept so ridiculous it makes me want to laugh out loud and chortle. But not at you, O holiest of gods, with the wrathfulness.
Bart wins the science fair when he steals Lisa's project, with her inside.
I created the universe! Give me the gift certificate!
So Lisa ends up stuck in the tub.
Shouldn't you people be groveling? And bring me some shoes.
When the Simpsons visit the Hullabalooza Music Festival, Homer is hit by a cannon.
Dad, are you okay?
I'm fine.
This gives the head of the festival sideshows an idea.
I've been looking for a big fatso to shoot with a cannon. I'd like very much for you to be that fatso.
So Homer joins up and becomes the festival's newest sideshow. Homer gets to meet lots of famous people, like the Smashing Pumpkins, Peter Frampton, and Cypress Hill.
Somebody order the London Symphony Orchestra, possibly while high. Cypress Hill, I'm looking in your direction.
Now this I like.
Homer loves his new job, but when his doctor tells him if he takes one more cannonball to the gut he'll die, Homer has to choose between popularity and his life. He chooses the latter. When Homer is invited to a free weekend with a group called the Movementarians.
Once we collect enough money for fuel, our leader will throw open the doors of the Forbidden Barn, where we will all board our intergalactic vehicle.
The Movementarians make some crazy claims.
Upon our arrival, we will begin our new perfect lives on Blistonia.
But Homer's not interested.
So the cops knew that Internal Affairs was setting them up?
What are you talking about? There's nothing like that in there.
Well, you see, when I get bored, I make up my own movie.
They convince Homer, and he joins up the rest of the Simpsons.
You two, stop talking and resume the lima bean harvest.
When we got married, you promised me my harvesting days were over.
Marge escapes, but she wants Homer back.
I'll kidnap him for 50, deprogram him for 100, and I'll kill him for 500.
No, just the first two.
All right, I'll throw in the killing for 3.
They deprogram Homer and he discovers the truth.
He's the real deal.
Not quite. I hope you enjoyed my look back at 10 classic episodes of The Simpsons. Thanks for choosing Project Toons, and please like and subscribe for more content. Today we're going to take a look back at 9 of Homer Simpson's many different jobs, not including his role as safety inspector at the Springfield power plant. In Season 8, Episode 3, Homer gets a job as a professional boxer. When he finds out he has a rare condition called Homer Simpson syndrome that cushions his brain with a layer of fluid, protecting it from injury, naturally the first thing Homer does is take up amateur boxing.
All right, Homer, let's see the left. Okay.
As Homer's new manager, Moe quickly finds out that punching isn't his game. But Homer can basically stand in the middle of the ring, taking punch after punch until his opponent gets so exhausted that Homer can simply nudge them over. This tactic gets Homer and Moe far, and they progress high into the amateur ranks. Eventually, Homer becomes known as the fighter who can't be knocked down and gets himself a World Heavyweight title shot against Drederick Tatum, Springfield's answer to Mike Tyson. Homer goes on to lose the fight, but it's still an impressive achievement. In Season 9, Episode 19, Homer gets a job as a naval reservist after being fired from the nuclear power plant by Mr. Burns.
Gawoo! You're fired!
After seeing an advert on television, Homer decides to join the Navy, but Marge isn't thrilled about it.
Not to worry, honey. We live in a highly technological age where fighting a war is as simple as turning off a light.
We don't have a clapper.
Despite his wife's concerns, Homer decides to enlist anyway, along with Apu, Moe, and Barney. While on duty, Homer is left in charge by the captain, and when they encounter what they think is an enemy sub, Homer makes the order to fire the torpedoes. Unfortunately, the actual captain was inside the torpedo tube trying to fix it. The gang's submarine is badly damaged in the confrontation, and is sinking due to a leak. As he's now officially captain, Homer steps up and saves everyone on board by plugging the leaking hole with Bart's earring. In Season 3, Episode 12, we see Homer in a number of different jobs, but I'll highlight my personal favourite, when Homer worked as a door-to-door knife salesman. In this episode, we look back at the story of Bart's birth. With Marge pregnant, Homer has to find a way to provide for his growing family. Homer tries out a number of different jobs, none of which he's particularly good at, but my personal favourite is when Homer goes door to door selling knives.
Shake hands with the Slashco.
Handle first.
All the bad luck that Homer has with these jobs, and the need for a sustainable income, forces him to try and get a job at the new Springfield nuclear power plant. So although this episode was the story of Bart Simpson's birth, it's also the story of how Homer originally started working at the power plant. In Season 6 episode 13, Homer gets a job at a bowling alley. In this episode we're once again taken to the past, this time with the story of Maggie's birth. After years of working at the nuclear power plant, Homer decides he wants to quit, and to provide for his family, he gets a job at a bowling alley. Homer absolutely loves his new job, and everything in his life is going perfectly.
I'm gonna make it after all.
But when Homer finds out that Marge is pregnant and Maggie is on the way, he realises that the money he earns at the bowling alley isn't enough to provide for his family. So Homer has to return to the power plant, on his knees, and beg Mr. Burns to give him his job back. In Season 2 episode 15, Homer gets a job as a car designer. When he finds out he has a half-brother called Herb, Homer decides to try and contact him, and the Simpsons find out that Herb is rather successful. It turns out that Homer's brother made his millions in the car industry, and he decides that he wants Homer to design him a car for the average American.
I want you to help me design a car. And I want to pay you $200,000 a year.
And I want to let you.
Homer does make the car, but due to its ugly design and high price, it's an absolute flop, bankrupting his brother's business. Something of note, Homer's brother Herb was voiced by Danny DeVito. In Season 7 episode 17, Homer gets a job as Mr. Burns' assistant. When Mr. Burns forces Waylon Smithers to take a vacation, he has to find a replacement that won't outshine him.
Dim-witted. Monstrously ugly. Nuts to this. I'll just go get Homer Simpson.
Homer isn't very good in his new role, and Mr. Burns lets him know over and over again just how useless an assistant he is. Eventually, Homer loses his temper and punches Mr. Burns square in the face. Mr. Burns, now being terrified, learns how to look after himself so he doesn't have to deal with Homer, and eventually decides that he doesn't need an assistant at all, so Waylon Smithers is out of a job. Homer feels guilty about losing Waylon his job, so the two of them come up with a scheme to win it back. In Season 10 episode 1, Homer starts a business selling grease.
Where do you think you're going?
It's the first day of school.
Not for you, it isn't. You're in the grease business now.
The father and son enterprise doesn't go so well, and Bart and Homer soon realise that in order to make paper money, they'll need one big score, so they target the grease traps at Bart and Lisa's school. Unfortunately, they run into groundskeeper Willie, who stops them from stealing the grease because he was planning to retire on it. In Season 10 episode 20, Homer goes door to door selling springs. When Springfield is selected to host the next Olympic Games, the town is naturally thrilled, and Homer's mascot idea Springy is chosen for the games. After some poorly chosen material in Bart's stand-up routine infuriates the Olympic Committee, the town is robbed of the Olympic Games. So Homer is lumped with thousands of springs. Desperate to get rid of them, Homer decides to go door to door and try and sell them. But he soon finds out that the town is still furious with the Simpson family thanks to Bart and his antics. And finally, in Season 11 episode 3, Homer gets a job as a food critic. When a local newspaper editor realises that Homer has a passion for food.
Well, at least you like the food.
Oh, I like food all right. I like pizza. I like bagels.
He decides to give Homer the job as food critic. When Homer gives out too many bad reviews, the local chefs attempt to kill Homer by poisoning a donut. Luckily, Lisa saves the day by telling Homer it's low fat, and naturally, he tosses it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for choosing Project Toons, and please like and subscribe for more content. Welcome to Project Toons, where today we're taking a look back at 5 times The Simpsons broke the fourth wall. The Simpsons has been on air as long as I've been alive, and between you and me, that's a long time, so obviously in that time they've done a lot of things, including breaking the fourth wall. This is a list of 5 of my favourite times that The Simpsons did exactly that. In Season 10 episode 13, Homer to the Max, the Simpson family sit around the television and Homer explains how networks love animated shows because they don't have to pay the voice actors much money.
Plus they can replace them and no one can tell the diddly difference.
In Season 30, Episode 3, My Way or the Highway to Heaven, the Simpson writers poke fun at the possible merger between Fox and Disney. When Lisa is performing a story, she claims that it is in no way associated with Disney. I'm sure someone at The Simpsons knew about the merger, so this probably doesn't count as a prediction.
The princess not affiliated with Disney, unless we are now owned by Disney.
In Season 4, Episode 19, The Front, Bart and Lisa decide to write stories for Itchy and Scratchy, but as they are just children, they get Grandpa to submit their ideas as his own. Because as an adult, he is A, credible, and B, he can be paid. During the episode, Bart and Lisa are given a tour of the Itchy and Scratchy studio by Roger Myers Jr., and he explains that animation is great because you can reuse the same stuff in the background to save money, which is happening the whole time in the background of their conversation, so you see the same water cooler and the same janitor over and over on a loop. In Season 24, Episode 1, Moonshine River, at the end of the episode, the entire Simpson family break the fourth wall when they talk directly to the audience and ask about couch gags.
But we're here to ask if you have an idea for a couch gag.
Apparently the winning entry was made into a couch gag at the start of an upcoming episode, but I don't know if it ever did. Let me know in the comments if you do. In Season 4, Episode 16, Duffless, Homer gets barred from driving and forced to attend Alcoholics Anonymous. However, he eventually keeps his promise to Marge that he'll stay duffless for 30 days. When Homer is finally allowed to drink again, he decides he'd rather spend time with his wife than to drink at his tavern. And Moe wasn't happy about it.
You'll be back, and so will you, and you, and you.
And I hope you'll be back for our next video.
Of course I'll be back. If you didn't close, I'd never leave.
I hope you enjoyed 5 times The Simpsons Broke the Fourth Wall. Thanks for choosing Project Toons, and please like and subscribe for more content. Welcome to Project Toons, where today we're taking a look back at 5 times Marge Simpson was arrested. Marge Simpson isn't the type of character you expect to be having problems with the law, but over the Simpsons' 30 or so year reign, she's been arrested more than once. This is a recap of 5 of my favourite episodes where Marge Simpson is arrested. First up is Season 17, Episode 11, We're on the Road to Nowhere. In this episode, Bart is once again up to no good when he steals a key to the steam tunnels under Springfield Elementary. When messing with the valves, Bart sets off a catastrophic chain reaction in the school above. Homer initially finds the situation funny, but he's not amused when Bart is sent to Upward Bound.
The toughest behavioral modification camp in Northwest Oregon?
Homer is furious that he has to drive Bart across the country, instead of spending time with his friends. While the boys are away, Marge and Lisa decide to have a yard sale.
Dixonum, Somnodose, Percolax. Are these for sale?
Marge explains that it's just the Simpson family's expired medication, and is shocked to find out how popular they are.
How much?
$1?
Per pill, right?
Yeah.
I'll take a dozen of each. Oh, wow! Drugs in a bottle.
Selling prescription pills is obviously illegal, so eventually the Springfield Police Department come knocking.
Oh, I'm out of drugs. See how much money I made?
With that confession and all the evidence in hand you could possibly want to make an arrest, Police Chief Wiggum does exactly that, and Marge is promptly arrested. Next up in Season 27, Episode 22, Orange is the New Yellow, Bart is trying his best to be helpful by offering to clean up so Marge can concentrate on Lisa. However, Bart causes more mess than he cleans and Marge loses her temper.
There's wood underneath this linoleum.
Oh, just go play outside.
Bart heads to the local park where he bumps into Martin Prince and his mother.
I'll just go sit and talk to his mother. Where is she?
I'm here by myself.
Martin's mother is not impressed, and she quickly calls the police department, who turn up surprisingly fast.
Simpson, are you here unsupervised?
Yeah, and so what?
They rush to the Simpson residence, taking out Flanders on the way, hoping to find who sent Bart out unattended.
Your children need to be supervised. Take her away, Barnes. If you take me away, then who's going to watch my kids? You should have thought of that before we showed up unannounced.
In Season 15, Episode 15, Codependence Day, the Simpsons visit wine country.
Your father and I will be across the street at the Lush Valley Winery.
As you might expect from Homer, he drinks way too much, but for once, Marge is just as hammered.
Mom's not gonna like this.
Don't tell Mama what Mama don't like.
One thing I'll say is Homer and Marge seem very happy together when inebriated, and spend a lot of time laughing. The couple get into the habit of always having a drink whatever the activity, even Oktoberfest. And when Marge is too drunk to drive, Homer carries her to the car and places her in the passenger seat.
Sleep tight, my drunken angel.
As Homer is just as drunk as Marge, he is in no state to drive, and unsurprisingly, he crashes. When a police car turns up to investigate the accident, Homer unbuckles Marge's belt and places her in the driver's seat.
Oh my God! This DUI is a she-UI! Oh no! I'm gonna be incarcerated. I'm going to jail.
And that's exactly what happens, because shortly after, Marge is charged with drink driving. Possibly one of the most despicable things Homer has ever done. In season 11, episode 21, It's a Mad, 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 Mad Marge, the Simpson family are hosting Otto's wedding. The ceremony is going smoothly until Becky, Otto's bride-to-be, discovers that Otto hired a rock and roll band to perform during her walk down the aisle.
You got poison to play at our wedding?
After being jilted at the altar, the Simpson family asks Becky to stay with them, and everybody really seems to like her, especially her cooking.
Mom, this gravy tastes better than God's sweat.
Thanks to Old Spice Girl, Becky.
And Lisa really likes what Marge did with the green beans.
Actually, that was Becky too.
And when Homer reacts to Becky's mashed potatoes like this,
Becky, your potatoes are the best I've ever had.
Marge is not happy. As the episode progresses, Marge's jealousy of her new house guest leads to her attacking Becky in an ice cream parlor. Unfortunately for Marge, Chief Wiggum, Eddie and Lou are purchasing ice cream.
Drop the cone, sugar!
Whoopsie.
Marge is arrested on the spot. By this point, she's probably on a first-name basis with everybody at the station. As Marge is escorted off the premises, she has one last thing to say to Becky.
This isn't over, Becky! I know where you live! My house!
Last on our list from Season 6, Episode 23, The Springfield Connection, in a twist from the Marge Gets Arrested theme, we have an episode where Marge does the arresting.
We're putting this dirtbag away.
I'll be back on the street in 24 hours.
We'll try to make it 12.
After stopping Snake from scamming Homer with a 3-card Monty table, Marge decides she wants some more excitement in her life, and while passing the police station, she wanders in to inquire.
You think you're pretty hot, huh? Well, we got everything we need on you.
The Springfield Police Department aren't the most efficient, but Marge decides she wants to satisfy her thirst for excitement by applying for the police force.
I'm interested in becoming a police officer. Welcome aboard.
But becoming a police officer doesn't happen overnight. It takes one solid weekend of training to get that badge. I love the police academy part of the episode, especially this guy.
When do we get the freaking guns? Hey, I told you, you don't get your gun until you tell me your name. I've had it up to here with you, rules!
Marge is initially happy with her new role as a dependable member of the Springfield Police Department, but soon finds out that there is so much corruption and crime in Springfield that she quickly loses her love of the job. Not long after, Marge catches her husband Homer parked across 3 handicap spaces and reminds him that she's a police officer. When Homer refuses to comply and steals Marge's hat, which is apparently an arrestable offence, Marge does exactly that.
You have the right to remain silent.
I choose to waive that right.
Marge and Homer sort out their differences, and eventually Marge is so fed up with the corruption she quits her job.
That's it. There's too much corruption on this force. I quit. Sorry to lose you, Simpson.
I hope you enjoyed my recap of 5 times Marge Simpson was arrested. Thanks for choosing Project Toons, and please like and subscribe for more content. Welcome to Project Toons. So we did 5 times Bart Simpson was arrested. We did 5 times Marge Simpson was arrested, so I think it's about time we did the big dog himself with Homer Simpson. So let's get into the video with 5 times Homer Simpson was arrested in The Simpsons. In Season 2, Episode 11, when Lisa expresses her boredom at eating the same meals over and over, Marge suggests that the Simpson family try the new sushi restaurant in town. Despite his initial skepticism, Homer ends up loving the food and makes his way through most of the menu, before ordering fugu. a potentially deadly venomous pufferfish if prepared incorrectly. When the master chef is occupied by Bart's teacher Edna Krabappel, his apprentice prepares the fish, something he's not trained to do. When Homer is told the situation and the possible danger, he visits Dr. Hibbert, who informs him that if he has ingested the venom of the pufferfish, he likely has less than 24 hours to live. Homer decides there are some things he'd like to do with his remaining time, and when reconciling with his father Abe takes much longer than Homer planned, he steps on the gas to make up time and gets caught speeding. Due to some provocative language toward the police officers Eddie and Lou,
I pay my taxes and they pay your salary. So when I say give me a ticket, just give me a ticket.
Homer is quickly arrested.
Maybe we don't want to give you a ticket. Maybe we want to haul your butt in, wise guy.
Hey, look what else your tax dollars pay for, huh?
By the way, if you're concerned, Homer doesn't die in Season 2. In Season 6, Episode 4, the Simpson family visit Itchy and Scratchy Land, the amusement park of the future where nothing can possibly go wrong. The family is having a great time, especially Bart and Lisa, but it doesn't take long before Alberto is up to no good, targeting the members of staff dressed in Itchy and Scratchy costumes. When Bart is arrested by the park security, he's taken to a detention area, and is surprised to find his father Homer has also been arrested. But what could Homer Simpson have possibly done to get arrested at a theme park?
I kicked one of those stupid itchy characters in the butt.
Yeah, there's just no way to resist it, is there?
Marge is having a great time on the family vacation, but something tells me that both her husband and son being arrested might dampen her mood.
Attention, Marge Simpson. Your son has been arrested. Attention, Marge Simpson. We've also arrested your older, balder, fatter son.
In Season 7, Episode 1, while Mr. Burns recovers from his gunshot wound, the Springfield Police Department start a manhunt for his assailant. The problem they have is practically everyone in Springfield is a suspect, as Mr. Burns had angered many residents with his hijacking of the elementary school's oil supply. Even Homer's a suspect due to his annoyance that Mr. Burns never remembers his name. The police department start eliminating suspects, and eventually they find an eyelash on Mr. Burns' suit that points to Simpson DNA. When Mr. Burns wakes in the hospital and names Homer, the police raid the Simpson residence with a warrant for Homer's arrest.
We got Simpson DNA on Burns' clothing, and your father was identified by the old man himself.
DNA, positive ID, those won't hold up in any court.
And when they find the weapon that was used to shoot Mr. Burns with Homer's fingerprints all over it, Homer is charged with attempted murder.
Homer Simpson, you're under arrest for attempted murder.
No!
Yeah, that's what they all say. They all say dough.
In Season 4, Episode 16, Homer sneaks away early from work at the power plant to accompany Barney Gumble on a tour of the Duff Brewery. Homer and Barney, being massive fans of Duff beer, enjoy more than their fair share of alcohol, including gummy bears and all sorts of Duff-related products. When the pair leave the brewery, they're being closely watched by Police Chief Wiggum and a unit on the lookout for drink drivers. Homer is pulled over and administered a sobriety test.
Won't you come and play with me?
Flawless. We also would have accepted, tell me what you think of me.
Well, I guess you're free to...
Give him the breathalyzer! Huh?
You're under arrest.
No!
So Homer is arrested and charged with driving under the influence of alcohol, and in the rest of the episode he fulfills a promise to his wife Marge that he'll stay sober for 30 days. In Season 8, Episode 18, Springfield enforces prohibition after the town's annual St. Patrick's Day celebration gets out of hand, which leads to Bart Simpson getting totally hammered. Just for the record, this is a fantastic episode, definitely in my top 10 favourite Simpsons episodes of all time. With alcohol now illegal, in order to keep the flow of liquor in Springfield going, Homer defies the law and floods the town with illegal booze as his alter ego, the Beer Baron. The Springfield Police Department, being as incompetent as ever, are powerless to stop Homer, so Police Chief Wiggum is fired and the town hire Rex Banner to clean things up. He cracks down but doesn't catch Homer, who does eventually get arrested, but only because he handed himself in to a disgraced Chief Wiggum to make him look good and get him his job back. Marge thinks it was a very nice thing that Homer did for poor Wiggum, but she wants to know what's going to happen to Homer.
Oh, probably just a slap on the wrist. And he who shall violate this law shall be punished by catapult. Last time I helped you.
Sorry, I thought you'd get a fine, or at most 3-4 years in jail.
That was my recap of 5 times Homer Simpson was arrested in The Simpsons. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you happen to be travelling to Springfield anytime soon, just remember,
Springfield cops are on the take. But what do you expect for the money we make? Bad cops, bad cops.
Thanks for choosing Project Toons, and please like and subscribe for more content. Welcome to Project Toons, where today we're recapping 5 times Bart Simpson gets a job. Over the 30 or so years that The Simpsons has been on air, Bart Simpson has had many jobs. This is a list of 5 of my favourite episodes where Bart Simpson starts working for the man. First up is Season 8, Episode 5, Bart After Dark. When Bart goes out to play with his friends, they stumble across a creepy-looking house and the rumours start.
Thanks a lot. Now it's stuck on that haunted house. I heard a witch lives there.
While trying to retrieve his toy plane from the roof of the house, Bart falls and damages a stone gargoyle. The owner of the house, Belle, demands compensation, so Homer makes Bart do chores to pay off the damages.
It's called responsibility.
In reality, the house turns out to be a burlesque one, so Bart is much more enthusiastic about his new job.
I have been grossly misinformed about witches.
In Season 3, Episode 4, Bart the Murderer, Bart gets a job mixing drinks at Fat Tony's Gentleman's Club. Bart is unaware that the members of this club are gangsters, and when Principal Skinner goes missing after giving Bart detention, everyone in Springfield thinks Bart and his mobster associates are responsible. And Bart is even arrested.
You're all under arrest for the murder of Seymour Skinner.
What's the matter?
Don't play dumb with me.
In Season 11, Episode 2, Brother's Little Helper, when Bart commits an extremely destructive prank at school, he is given an experimental new drug called Focusing to help him concentrate and stop misbehaving. The drug works perfectly to start with, so much so that Bart's schoolwork improves so much that he gets a job tutoring.
And why did Humpty Dumpty have a great fall?
Because he took his eyes off the prize?
That's right. You stay on the ball, you stay on the wall.
In Season 5, Episode 12, Bart Gets Famous, Bart gets famous. When sneaking away from a class trip to the box factory, Bart enters the nearby Channel 6 TV studio where he meets up with Krusty. Krusty likes Bart so much that he gives him a job as his new assistant. When he's asked to appear on camera, Bart knocks over several stage props and quickly says,
I didn't do it.
The audience erupt into laughter, and Bart becomes famous as the I didn't do it boy. And finally, in Season 4, Episode 19, The Front, Bart and Lisa get jobs writing episodes of their beloved show, Itchy and Scratchy. They don't work directly for the TV studio, they have to submit their ideas through Grandpa, as he's an adult and can be paid. But it's Bart and Lisa's cartoons that are being produced, so I definitely think it counts as a job. If I didn't mention your favourite episode of The Simpsons where Bart gets a job, let me know in the comments what it is, because I might do a part 2 and will probably use it. I hope you enjoyed 5 times Bart Simpson gets a job. Thanks for choosing Project Toons, and please like and subscribe for more content. Welcome to Project Toons. In this video we're going to recap 4 classic Homer episodes of The Simpsons.
I am smart. S-M-R-T. I mean S-M-A-R-T.
In Season 7, Episode 7, King Size Homer, when Homer hears about a colleague injuring himself on the job and getting paid for time off work, he decides that he must injure himself.
Yes?
Hello.
May I help you?
Could you give me a little push in the opposite direction?
Okay.
Thank you.
Homer sensibly realises that seriously injuring himself is probably not a good idea, and he realises that there's more than one way to get paid for being at home.
If you weigh more than 300 pounds, you qualify as disabled.
So Homer has to gain 61 pounds to qualify as disabled, and therefore be able to work from home. And with Bart's help, Homer reaches his goal of 300 pounds.
I did it!
Dad, towel rack.
The rest of the Simpson family aren't too happy with Homer's weight gain, especially Marge. But Homer absolutely loves his new life working from home and all the perks that go with it, until he realises that there's a problem at the power plant.
Explosion imminent! Oh my god! The plant's going to explode!
The workers at the plant aren't too concerned about the imminent explosion.
Hey, that thing's going caca cuckoo.
Who cares? It's Homer's problem.
With the town in danger from a nuclear explosion, Homer has to do something, so he tries to warn the plant.
I gotta call the plant and warn them.
The fingers you have used to dial are too fat.
So Homer has to race to the power plant and stop the explosion manually, which he does and saves everyone in Springfield.
Homer, your bravery and quick thinking have turned a potential Chernobyl into a mere 3 Mile Island. Bravo!
In Season 6, Episode 15, Homie the Clown, when Krusty is having financial problems due to wasting money and placing ridiculous wagers that he always loses, his accountant tells him there's only one thing he can do.
The only thing left to do is to open a clown college and train some regional Krusties.
Krusty is against the idea because he sees it as selling out.
Forget it. I'll just cut back on the Condor egg omelets. A couple of those would be tasty right now.
I'll found the college tomorrow.
With adverts for the clown college all over Springfield, Homer sees one while driving to work. Initially, Homer has no interest, but after seeing the sign, the clown college is all Homer can think about. Homer's so obsessed that there's only one option available.
That's it. You people have stood in my way long enough. I'm going to clown college.
I don't think any of us expected him to say that.
So Homer enrolls to Krusty's Clown College and gets first-hand training from the legendary TV clown.
Okay, we'll start off with the baggy what? Those are supposed to be baggy pants. Baggy!
Ooh. I've never had a pair of pants that fit this well in my life.
Homer works hard and successfully graduates as a regional Krusty.
Got it! No shock for me!
Oh, yeah?
So Homer does all the jobs that Krusty refuses to do himself, like restaurant openings and kids' birthday parties. Homer's not a great clown, but he does make an excellent double for Krusty.
I'm seeing double here. 4 Krusties!
So much so that when Krusty is wanted by the Mafia for an unpaid wager, the mob kidnap Homer thinking it's him. Homer and Krusty then have to perform Krusty's signature trick to save their lives. In Season 5, Episode 3, Homer Goes to College, when inspectors visit the Springfield power plant, Homer's skills as safety inspector are well and truly put to the test, and he fails miserably.
No, this can't be happening!
Mr. Burns, being Mr. Burns, realises that his only way out of this situation is by bribing the inspectors, and that's exactly what he does.
You can either have the washer and dryer where the lovely Smithers is standing, or you can trade it all in for what's in this box.
The box! The box!
Mr. Burns is told that he can't just throw money at the problem to make it go away.
Gentlemen, I've decided there will be no investigation now. If you excuse me, I'll go away.
Even still, Homer's job requires college training in nuclear physics, so Mr. Burns is forced to enroll Homer and get him the degrees he needs. Homer applies to multiple colleges, but has absolutely zero luck.
Oh!
Well, Pop, what are you gonna do?
Something I should have done a long time ago.
You don't know, do you?
No, ma'am.
Burns has to use his connections to get Homer enrolled, and he does, so Homer is officially a college man.
I won't need my high school diploma anymore. I am smart. S-M-R-T. I mean S-M-A-R-T.
Homer's extremely excited about going to college, but he soon finds out that his fellow students aren't the same as the last time he was at school.
I'll be a campus hero.
Attention, everyone. The punch has been spiked. Don't worry. Your parents have been called and will be here to pick you up shortly.
In no time at all, it's time for Homer's first lesson.
Good morning and welcome to Nuclear Physics 101.
You would think that Homer's years of experience as safety inspector at a power plant would stand him in good stead for his course.
I think I know how a proton accelerator worked.
Well, please come down and show us.
All right, I will.
Apparently not.
In there, guys.
Thanks, Homer.
Homer goes on to befriend a group of nerds and eventually gets them expelled when they, led by Homer, steal a mascot from a rival college, who happens to be a pig.
That pig had some powerful friends.
Or you'll pay. Don't think you won't pay.
Homer passes his course, but only because he changed his grade with a computer, so Marge tells him in order to set a good example to Bart, he has to pass the course for real.
Well, I guess it's back to college for me, and that means it's time to... What did I teach you guys?
Party down?
Yes!
I hope you enjoyed my recap of 4 classic Homer episodes of The Simpsons. Thanks for choosing Project Toons, and please like and subscribe for more content. Welcome to Project Toons. In this video we're going to take a look back at 3 classic Sideshow Bob episodes of The Simpsons. In Season 7, Episode 9, Sideshow Bob's Last Gleaming, Sideshow Bob is still serving time at Springfield Penitentiary for his various crimes. One thing he hates most about prison is the fact that his fellow prisoners spend all day watching television.
Oh, must you bray night and day at that infernal television?
Oh, look who's talking.
Yeah, Bob. You used to be on this show.
When Bob is doing community service, Chief Wiggum tells him to get a move on because they need the place spick and span for an air show tomorrow.
Air show? What kind of country fried rube is still impressed by that?
Yeah.
When the prisoners are heading back to prison, Sideshow Bob is missing, but Chief Wiggum doesn't seem too concerned.
If anyone asks, I beat him to death, okay?
Right.
Bob has a plan, and in order for him to pull it off, he needs some leverage, so he steals a bomb.
Not a cloud in the sky!
Except perhaps a mushroom cloud.
Sideshow Bob's plan is to hold the town of Springfield to ransom. If they don't give in to his demands, there'll be consequences. So what does Bob want? Maybe money? Freedom?
Oh, and one more thing. I've stolen a nuclear weapon. If you do not rid this city of television within 2 hours, I will detonate it.
So Bob wants television gone. The town buckles under the pressure, and all television broadcasts in Springfield are shut down. The only person who stays on the air is Krusty, Bob's old colleague. This infuriates Bob, who now plans to go through with his threat. Bart and Lisa track him down, but it's too late.
Bob, no! Don't you see? That would be taking the easy way out.
I agree.
Luckily for every resident in Springfield, the bomb was a dud.
Best before November 1959. Damn it, Bob. There were plenty of brand new bombs, but you had to go for that retro 50s charm.
In Season 6, Episode 5, Sideshow Bob Roberts, Sideshow Bob, as he always is serving time at the Springfield Penitentiary. Bob longs for freedom, and during a riot at the prison, Bob calls a conservative radio talk show to protest his innocence.
Convicted of a crime I didn't even commit. Attempted murder. Now, honestly, what is that? Do they give a Nobel Prize for attempted chemistry, do they?
The talk show host doesn't like the fact that a fellow conservative is spending time in prison.
I've had it. I am going to make it my mission to see that our friend Bob is set free.
Despite Bart's objections, the people of South Africa can now vote in free democratic elections.
Bob is released from prison after pressure from the public due to the radio broadcast. With the mayoral election taking place in Springfield, the Republican Party headquarters has a meeting.
Hail, brothers! Koronan Sileria Ozumahok.
They need to decide who their candidate should be for the upcoming election.
The mayoral campaign is upon us. And if we hope to defeat this Joe Quimby, we need a candidate with name recognition and media savvy.
And recently released convict Sideshow Bob is their pick.
A fine mahawk to you all.
Bob is running against long-standing Mayor Diamond Joe Quimby, who has an absolutely disastrous campaign, which leads to Bob being declared the new mayor of Springfield.
The results are in for Sideshow Bob 100%, for Joe Quimby 1%, and we remind you there is a 1% margin of error.
There's something very ominous about Sideshow Bob's victory speech.
Let's go live to Bob headquarters now for Mayor Terwilliger's victory speech.
Bart and Lisa do some investigating into the election, and they discovered the reason Bob won by so much was because he registered dead people as voting for him. So Bart and Lisa know the truth. Now they have to prove it.
Is it true you rigged the election?
No, I did not.
Kids help.
Bart and Lisa tricked Bob by accusing him of just being a pawn in the electoral fraud, and he could never rig an election by himself.
Enough! Lies, lies, lies! I did it! I did it all!
Bob's ego takes over, and he completely admits to all the charges, and even provides evidence.
And I have the records to prove it! Here, just look at these!
When the judge asks Bob why he did it, Bob tells the crowd it's because Springfield needs him.
Your guilty conscience may force you to vote Democratic, But deep down inside, you secretly long for a cold-hearted Republican to lower taxes, brutalize criminals, and rule you like a king.
Bob is quickly arrested for fraud, and everything is as it was in Springfield once again.
Place the mayor under arrest.
What? Oh, yes. All that stuff I did.
In Season 3, Episode 21, Black Widower, when the Simpson family get together to celebrate Aunt Selma's new boyfriend, Aunt Patty lets them in on a secret about him before they meet.
Her new sweetie's a jailbird.
Cool.
Bart isn't so pleased when Selma turns up and introduces them to her new fella.
Everyone, I'd like you to meet...
Sideshow Bob!
What the...
The family sit down to dinner and discuss how Selma and Bob met through the prisoner pen pal scheme. And Bob has a surprising announcement.
Will you marry me?
Don't be a fool, Aunt Selma. That man is scum.
Then call me Mrs. Scum.
When the family are discussing food for the wedding, Bob asks Selma what she would like. Selma says she doesn't care because it all tastes like styrofoam to her.
When I was a kid, we were playing with bottle rockets, and one shot straight up my nose. I permanently lost my sense of taste and smell.
Bob is concerned that they don't have enough money for the wedding, but Selma isn't worried.
Relax, I told you I got money. I bought stock in a mace company just before society crumbled.
Bob and Selma have a great wedding, and this time Selma has a surprising announcement.
I've decided to give up smoking. Except for after meals and after MacGyver.
So it seems Bob has been rehabilitated and is ready to settle down with his new wife for a crime-free life. But Bob has something much more sinister planned.
The wedding was very tough on you, and the honeymoon is going to be murder.
Selma sends the Simpson family a video of her and her new husband on their honeymoon, and it seems Bob wants everything to be perfect.
I wanted a room with a fireplace, you brainless luggage monkey! Like the one in your brochure!
Later that night, the Simpson family are watching TV, and Bart finally figures out Sideshow Bob's evil plan.
Tonight on MacGyver.
Aunt Selma has 1 hour to live.
Hey, down in front!
Bob planned to fill Selma's room with gas from the fire he had to have, which Selma wouldn't be able to smell. And when Selma had her cigarette after MacGyver, she would be killed in the explosion. And therefore Bob would inherit the money Selma had made on the stock market. The Simpsons call the police and stop Bob just in time, and Bob is arrested and charged with attempted murder. I hope you enjoyed my look back at 3 classic Sideshow Bob episodes of The Simpsons. Thanks for choosing Project Toons, and please like and subscribe for more content. Welcome to Project Toons. In this video we'll take a look back at 5 times Bart Simpson was arrested. Bart Simpson is his and my generation's Dennis the Menace, and has therefore found himself in trouble many times, both at school and at home. But Bart's pranks and schemes sometimes stray into actual crimes, and this is a recap of 5 times he was officially arrested by Police Chief Wiggum and the incompetent Springfield Police Department. First up is Season 6, Episode 4, Itchy and Scratchy Land, where the Simpson family visit, you guessed it, Itchy and Scratchy Land, after Bart and Lisa convince Homer and Marge that they'll have the best vacation ever. The family are having a great time, especially Bart and Lisa, but it doesn't take long before Alberto is up to no good, targeting the staff at the theme park, specifically the ones dressed up in Itchy and Scratchy costumes. Bart believes there's no consequences to his actions, but eventually the Itchy and Scratchy security team catch up with Bart.
Can you believe I keep getting away with this?
Bart is arrested and taken to a holding cell where he's surprised to see that his father Homer has also been arrested. I wonder how Marge will react.
I want all 5 t-shirts to say best vacation ever.
Attention, Marge Simpson. Your son has been arrested. Attention, Marge Simpson. We've also arrested your older, balder, fatter son.
Next on our list is Season 13, Episode 2, The Parent Rap. This episode begins with Bart and Milhouse stealing Chief Wiggum's police car and taking it for a joyride. It isn't the first time that Bart's driven a car underage. He rented one with a fake ID, and he also stole a tank when he was off his mind on focusing.
You 2 are under arrest for joyride. You have the right to remain, silent? That doesn't sound right.
In Season 15, Episode 16, The Wandering Juvie, Bart is in the middle of a genius prank.
This prank is my Sgt. Pepper's.
In the prank, Bart registers for gifts at a department store and then holds a fraudulent wedding to obtain them.
So, you thought you'd pull a fake wedding, eh? You're under arrest.
Not only does he break the law, but he tries to bribe his way out of it with gifts. But unfortunately, Wiggum only takes one type of bribe.
Cash bribes only.
In Season 9, Episode 6, Bart Star, Homer becomes coach of a Pee-wee football team and makes Bart quarterback, much to the displeasure of the rest of the team and even Bart himself. During a big game, Chief Wiggum turns up with a warrant for Nelson Muntz's arrest, the team's star player.
Alright, I've got an arrest warrant here for Nelson Muntz.
Luckily for Homer and the rest of the team, Bart offers to fill in for Nelson, but not on the field of play. Finally, we come to Season 3, Episode 4, Bart the Murderer. When Bart stumbles into a mafia-owned club, the owner of the bar, mobster Fat Tony, hires Bart as a bartender. When Principal Skinner goes missing after giving Bart detention, the whole town suspects Bart and his mobster associates of having something to do with it, and Bart is actually charged with murder. That's twice that Bart has been falsely arrested. He might have grounds for harassment or something.
You're all under arrest for the murder of Seymour Skinner.
What's a murder?
Don't play dumb with me. Cuffin' boys.
I hope you enjoyed my recap of 5 times Bart Simpson was arrested. Thanks for watching Project Toons, and if you could, please like and subscribe. This is a new channel, so all and any subscriptions are massively helpful and hugely appreciated. Have a good one.